Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking in r/best of Redditor updates where OP has an infection for 13 years that gets completely overlooked. And I want to say this and really mean it. If you have any issues with hypochondria, health anxiety, medical anxiety, do not listen to this video. Click away now. Please. Save your sanity, okay? I'm taking one for the team here because I actually have really bad medical anxiety, but it's okay. But yeah, don't feel bad if you can't listen to this one. I will catch you in the next one. Anyway, if that does sound like something you're interested in, then stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. So this was posted in the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit by Lucy Aria Rose. And the title is, "Turns out I have a 13-year-old infection in my face and it's eating the bone." So this was originally posted to internet parents, hemiplegic migraines, and r/migraine. And it was posted by... no idea. Cannot find it. I might be reading this wrong, but I don't know. It's on the screen. You might see it there. I might be being really stupid. It's very likely. So the original post was posted January 19th, 2025, so a very nice fresh one. Title: "Why is my scalp prickly all of a sudden? Related to food or migraines?" Obviously, I know nobody here can give me a diagnosis. I'm not looking for one. I've been diagnosed with migraines and hemiplegic migraines. I've just had something weird start happening lately, and I wondered if it's a migraine thing. I get aura migraines. I literally can't see out of my one eye when one comes on, and it's always the same eye. Apparently that's very common. When I eat hot sauce or sour candies, my scalp starts feeling prickly. Oh, like when your arms or legs go to sleep, except my scalp. Does that not sound like more of a nerve issue? I mean, I'm not a doctor, I don't know, I can only guess. I have also had bouts where the center or part of both my upper and lower lips have gone numb. Also after eating hot sauce. Yeah, I'd be like, is that some sort of neuralgia or something? I know, because I get trigeminal neuralgia issues, I know that my face can go either hot or cold feeling in weird places or goes numb. Or if even the slightest breeze blows on my forehead when it's really inflamed, it hurts. So yeah, that would be my guess. I've been having a crazy amount of migraines and hemiplegic migraines lately. So hemiplegic migraines, if I'm not mistaken, they are the ones where you can get stroke-like symptoms, are they not? I think they are. Let's just look that up real quick so we've got a little bit more information as far as that goes. Can you go down there, please? My goodness. Right, let's have a look. Please don't stop recording because I've decided to open Chrome. Oh, it's not. Okay. What? Oh my god, I can't type. What are hemorrhoids? No! Google, no. A person with a hemiplegic migraine will experience a temporary weakness on one side of their body as part of the migraine attacks. This weakness may be in the face, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, it mimics stroke-like symptoms sometimes. Can also cause speech issues, balance issues, and sight issues. There we go. Okay, we are more informed. Let's continue. And I guess I have an infected tooth on top. Chills, random red streak going away from a tooth, pain on that side, and ear. I'm on antibiotics for the infection, but the scalp prickling started before that. I know that nobody can tell me what it is on Reddit, but it would be nice to assess if it's something I should mention to my doctor at all. Anything like that is good to mention to your doctor. Don't ever feel silly mentioning something like that because it could be part of a bigger problem. I feel silly asking her about something as small as a prickly scalp. Yeah, definitely not. Always ask, and put your foot down if they won't listen as well. Update post, January 21st, 2025, 2 days later. Title: "Turns out I have a 13-year-old infection in my face and it's eating the bone." That is insane. So I've been diagnosed with migraines, chronic migraines and hemiplegic migraines. My dad is epileptic and I also have POTS. I was diagnosed by a neurologist. I just wanted to share this story here in case it helps anyone else. I've had my HMS, hemiplegic migraines, for about 5 years now, but realised I've suffered migraines since childhood, just not frequently. In 2020, I suffered a head injury and post-concussion syndrome. Since then, I started having 20 plus migraines a month, scoring 200 plus on the MIDAS. I say these things because my situation is complex, and it's worth recognising that. In around 2012, I had a root canal done. The previous dentist had botched a filling and it got infected. Ever since I had that done, I've had pain in the right side of my face, coincidentally the same side as my HM. I returned to my dentist and told him about the pain, and his response was, "That's not possible. We removed the nerve. It's not pain." Oh my God. What? So, after 13 years, I sort of grew to live with it. I was a teenager when I had a root canal, and I didn't think to ask for a second opinion. Every migraine, I get a pink hot spot on the side of my face. That ear aches, my teeth will all hurt, my jaw aches, and it was just something I accepted as normal. I was aware I had problems with my root canal tooth, but I didn't understand the full extent. I started getting chills that won't go away. I feel pressure behind my eye, my cheek swells, my ears feel like it has fluid in it. Yeah, and with a root canal, I've never had one, but I believe they take the root completely away from that tooth, so you wouldn't feel pain in the actual tooth. So you wouldn't think probably that the issues were coming from there, would you? Because you can't feel it. I think migraine until I see the red streak going up from my tooth on my gums. Well, I got a good dentist recently. We discovered that I have an infection in the bone above my root canal tooth. There's a spot between the size of a pea and a penny that's just a pocket of pus. Today I was shown the x-ray of my face and the pocket of pus and bone damage from this infection. And this was the x-ray from before it even started streaking. That's insane. And I would love to know if this OP actually had a dentist prior to this, because if so, why on earth did they not notice that there was a cavity that was being caused by an infection? I like watching surgeries and stuff, and I watched something a little while ago that was something very, very weirdly similar to this, might I add. And it was a woman, and it was her bottom back molar, and she'd had a root canal. And obviously it hadn't been done properly, and she had had the same thing where infection had been eaten away and it caused this complete cavity within the jawbone that they had to slowly reconstruct. I can't remember how they did it. Again, not a dentist, not a doctor. But she had had that going, they estimated, for about 10 years. But for this woman, she'd refused to go to a dentist. She had basically got to the point where this tooth felt ridiculously loose. And that's the only reason she went to the dentist. Again, I think she'd had a bit of trauma from the last time, which is understandable, you know. But yeah, they said that it must have been going for a good 10 years and that it had basically eaten a big cavity away. So if this OP did have a dentist in that time, that is scary that they never picked up on it. I'm going to have special surgical dental work done to clean this infection out. But in the meantime, I can't help but feel that this infection has been a trigger for my migraines all these years. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. And this is freaking me out a little bit because I actually have the dentist in a bit, literally a few hours. But to be fair, it's not for a checkup. I already had a checkup about a month ago. This is just to have my impressions for a new bite guard because I grind my teeth so bad in my sleep that I genuinely bite holes in my cheeks and my tongue. So I have to wear a night guard, and my night guard is falling apart. But this is not instilling a lot of good feelings about the dentist in me right now. No, I have also been diagnosed CPTSD and have structural dissociation, so my sense of pain is a little screwed up. But in 2024, after suffering a fever for 4 months and pain that was an 8 or a 9, they found a tumour on my appendix. Goodness me. All the tests showed nothing. I was missing sleep for days on end, and I actually believed I was making it up. I wasn't. I had a lipoma. Is that one of those fatty tumours? In my appendix that was mimicking appendicitis, but didn't show up on the standard appendicitis test because of its composition, and it's not appendicitis. Appendicitis is an infection and not a tumour. Now, having turned 30, I've decided I'm no longer letting any doctor or dentist tell me how I feel. Here, my friend. Here, bloody here. Took me 13 years to finally get a diagnosis for my chronic illnesses. And it wasn't until I got my doctor that I have now, who is amazing. And by the way, it's very hard to get a really good doctor who actually gives a shit on the NHS. NHS is great, but it has its massive flaws. And yeah, it wasn't until I got this doctor and she actually gave a crap, went back through my whole history, my medical history, and went, I think I know what's happening here. And yeah, I only recently got a diagnosis for my issues that started in my early 20s. I am now 33. That's how little some doctors care, unfortunately. Between my tumour and now this infection, I've really learned the value of being your own advocate. If something isn't right, something isn't right. Don't let someone fool you into thinking you imagine things. I wanted to urge everyone here to go to your dentist as well, and maybe go to more than one. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I have 2 dentists. They don't know about each other. I feel like I'm cheating because I'm so like I said at the start about I have medical anxiety, this really plays on my mind about my teeth are like great, by the way. I only have 1 tooth that I broke, and that was because of my tooth grinding, and it was before I got the mouth guard. And I broke it, and now half of it's gone, and I've got a filling on it because of the fact that half of it broke off. But other than that, my teeth are great, but I still have 2 dentists that I go to. And I just think I'd rather pay a little extra and have 4 checkups a year and squash my anxiety. Ask questions, make sure you understand what's being said. If you're in pain, don't let anyone tell you you're not. I've let people brush off my pain because I have decreased pain sensitivity. I can't say for sure since I haven't had the surgery yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if this infection wasn't a fat HM trigger. Well, yeah, I can imagine it probably could be. I know that my bruxism definitely triggers off my migraines. If my bruxism is bad, my migraines are 10 times worse. I get about 3 or 4 migraines a week anyway, but I can get them daily when my bruxism is really bad, like daily. So I'm sorry, I keep talking about myself in this, but I just feel like I need to interject because I have a little bit of experience in this area, and it's like, it makes me want to yap. You know, because I've had the experience of being brushed off by doctors and issues, and yeah, it makes you just want to talk about it because it does eat you up. Even once you finally get to the bottom of things, you just want to let it out because you feel vindicated finally. And it's like, I need to tell someone that I wasn't crazy. Maybe it's not, but I just can't help but think that the bone-eating infection has to be making things worse. Oh god, yeah, definitely. I really hope this post helps encourage some folks to stand up for themselves and to also reevaluate other facets of your health. I don't suspect most folks get migraines and think, yes, I better go to the dentist. Yeah, they definitely don't. And I feel there should be more awareness of having awareness of your body. And also, I completely feel the OP with being brushed off for so long because of having a higher pain threshold. I have a pretty decent pain threshold, to be fair. Like, I've got tattoos everywhere. I have, like, tattoos on my face. I have tattoos on my hands, fingers, and everyone says they're the most painful ones. And genuinely, the ones on my face, I didn't feel. I did not feel. So I got brushed off for years saying, oh, well, if you had this, you'd be in a lot more pain. And I was like, but I am in pain. I'm in constant pain, so much so that I'm bloody used to it to a degree. You know, but I still feel like shite every day. And I feel like I'm dragging myself around to just do the most menial tasks. And if they think that you can just, if they see you walk through the door, if they see that you are able to walk through the door, they go, nah, you can't be that bad. And it's honestly disgusting. It's disgusting. Listen to your patients, doctors. They've been living in their body their whole lives. They know when something's wrong. And I know there's some people that just are real hypochondriacs and, you know, they think that something's wrong all the time when there isn't. But also, how many times have we seen people share videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, where they say, I was told I was a hypochondriac for years. Turns out there was something bloody wrong and it's actually serious, you know? Okay, I need to get off my soapbox on this. I really do. And then we have another update post from January 23rd, 2025. Title, I've had a fever of 102, 103 for 3 days. I'm on antibiotics for an infection that's eating the bone of my face. Anything I can do to make myself feel less rubbish. Infection from a 13-year-old failed root canal, and it's in my upper jaw, cheek, skull, bones. Dentist showed me the bone damage pocket of pus. Problem is, I have stomach problems right now from a surgery I had last year. Swallowing is extremely painful. This poor OP cannot catch a break, can they? Taking the antibiotics still hurts. I actually vomited a strip of my stomach. Ugh! A strip of my stomach lining diagnosed by my doctor. My goodness. So I'm struggling with the normal take Tylenol and drink lots of water. If I drink lots, I throw up. I can't handle most pills. Eating is off the table. I'm on prescription meal replacements. I turned 30, and this was not the start to 2025 I was hoping for. Yeah, I mean, I really feel for this poor OP. They are just being kicked constantly while they're down, aren't they? My questions are, what can I do to feel better physically? I've already treated myself on Amazon by ordering a lighter weight blanket and a stuffy. I don't know that I'm an adult. It was blooming cute. Yeah, so what? Who cares? Being an adult doesn't mean you can't enjoy cute things. At what point should I be worried? I'm waiting for my doctor to approve my special dental surgery, and she's not in the office for a few weeks. Surely having a pocket of pus in your face should mean that it needs to be approved far quicker than that. What the hell? I don't know, but I'm not a doctor. Maybe they want to try and clear some of the infection before opening things up and possibly making things worse. Any other tips, advice, comfort? When I asked my mum at IRL, she said, "Can't you hear yourself? You're so whiny." Oh my goodness. Wow. So I came here for some virtual hugs. Do you know what? This is so common when you've got a chronic illness. People just be like, "Oh, all you do is moan about feeling like crap." Oh, really? I wonder why that could be. So I came here for some virtual hugs. I feel like I'm allowed to be whiny when my face bones are being eaten and I had a tumour last year. Yeah, definitely. You're absolutely allowed to be whiny. And then top comments. Dio Grace says, "Honey, you need to go to the ER. I'm sure your dentist is doing a good job, but the doctor who did the surgery and doctors who have more experience in whole body treatments are going to be better for you. Fever is nothing to be so casual with. It has potential to cause big problems. Hugs." Edit, 25 minutes later. I'm taking some of your advice. I'm going to ask my parents to take me to the Emerge or walk-in clinics. Thanks, everyone. I'll try and make an update when I have a chance. And then we have another update 6 hours later. Title, "Update, you guys were right." Just a quick update from my earlier post. I've seen the doc and I'm getting IV antibiotics. The previous antibiotics wasn't working and wasn't strong enough. I imagine if OP's stomach is that kind of messed up, it probably wasn't absorbing properly, was it? I'm just going to have some blood work done as well, then I'll have to come back every day for treatment for a while. I live close to the hospital, so it's okay. Because I'm autistic, I have a decreased pain sensitivity. It's hard for me to tell how bad things are sometimes until afterwards. I would have kept trying to wait it out. Internet parents, I think you saved my life. Thank you for telling me to go back to emergency. And then we have another update, 6 days from the original post and the next day to the last post. Not sure if I'm being annoying, but I thought everyone who read my previous post would be relieved to know my fever is gone. Started the day at 103, my mum got me some baby Tylenol, and it got down to 102 and then 101. Over the course of the day, I stopped sleeping all day and eventually felt up for some gaming, which I have not felt up for. I got my second IV today, and we now have a plan. Turns out my infection was so severe, the IV isn't enough. I need IV and meds. They got me the liquid kind. Just a pro tip, never get the liquid kind unless you really can't swallow like me right now. It legitimately tastes like the smell of dog poop. Ew. Oh, bless you. I plugged my nose, downed it like a shot, and popped a chocolate in my mouth immediately after, and I was still gagging like crazy. Oh, yeah. Why can't they make medicine taste nicer? But I kept it down, and during my second IV, the fever finally went away and I feel like a normal human again. I have to go back for at least a week just because of how severe it is. I know I said thank you in my quick update yesterday, but seriously, I had no idea how much danger I was in. I know infections are bad, I've dealt with a few before, but if it weren't for this subreddit, I would have kept waiting for those pills to work. My pain had only gotten to a 7 for a very short period, so I really didn't recognize how much trouble I was in. If it weren't for this sub, I'm not sure I'd still be here. It's wild too. I legitimately came on here just seeking some comfort. I thought I'd get some good self-care tips. That's all I was looking for. I don't generally look for medical advice online, barring the exception of curiosity and boredom. Yeah, because you type in anywhere online your symptoms, and next thing you know, you're planning your funeral. And if it was only one of you folks, or like a handful of folks that had said something, I might not have gone in. I would have probably have figured, oh gee, some people are really worried, and left it. Just because you all told me to go back to emerge, I am still getting concerned comments. I took it seriously. So thank you to each and every one of you who took the time to comment. Again, I know I dropped a hasty thanks yesterday, but I wanted to say something now I'm a bit more lucid. I'm not able to reply to everyone individually, so I figured an update was appropriate. Hopefully this will be the last one as I continue to recover. Thank you, internet parents. Honestly, Reddit saves the day. Like, my goodness. I feel so bad for this poor OP. Like, they've really been kicked about and taken through the ringer, haven't they? But I really hope they recover. Like, really hope they recover well and they feel a lot better soon. Down in the comments, gyrating arthropod 481 says, your pain is not pain, in quotation marks, probably taking the piss out of doctors who just dismiss you so easily. And then Avindaroff says, a few years ago, I was at the gynecologist and we got into the subject of periods, as one does, and I say that mine are so irregular that sometimes I get them twice a month. His response, no you don't. I didn't even know how to answer that, and I still don't. Oh, yeah, honestly, don't get me started on the way women are treated medically, because I will not stop. And then BLBD says, why did you even bother studying this if you don't want to help people like me? Precisely. And then Clutch Pencil Quad Rule says, so did you go into gynecology because you hate women, or did you only start hating women after? Good thing you didn't do pediatrics. Imagine how much you'd hate kids. Or gerontology. God, imagine you'd just have the worst day every day. All those effing old people with their diseases. And I kind of thought people who really loathe humanity would all be pathologists, but I guess you didn't get into that, right? Have you considered retraining as a tower crane operator? Literally, I always have this thought, like, if you care so friggin' little about people and their health, why did you become a doctor? Their next post, this one was compiled by Direct Caterpillar 77, and the title is My 31F Boyfriend 30M staunchly believes we did an art class together a long time ago. We never did, and it's tearing our relationship apart. He thinks I am lying, and I don't know what to think. So the original post was posted November 29, 2019 and says, this is kind of weird, but I am at the end of my rope with this. Me and my significant other Tom recently started dating again. We currently have been together for 6 months now. We were a couple for us 3 years ago during university. We were close back then, but I ended up getting an amazing job offer from a big tech company and was required to relocate to SV. Tom unfortunately was forced to look after his 2 younger siblings after his mother passed away. We ended up separating when we realised it wasn't going to work. That's sad. Last year I moved back home after I went through a painful failed engagement, and a combination of burnout and my dad not being in good health, we ended up getting back in touch and one thing led to another. At the start of this month, I moved in with Tom and his final younger brother moved out to go to university. Stuff was great and I was happy and he seemed happy. Then, something weird happened and I don't know what to make of it. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about redecorating and renovating, fixing 2 decades of wear and tear. Tom offhandedly mentioned that he had still had paintings we did together in art class. This really confused me. I have no memory of doing this art class, but he remembers it like it was yesterday. This led to a kind of weird argument where I denied this ever happening, but he would not drop it. Eventually, I just kind of pretended to vaguely remember just to get out of this. He didn't believe me and spent 4 hours digging through Facebook, his computer, and even dug out his old cell phone. He found nothing. He seemed hurt and confused, and I begged him to let's just forget about it. However, this started eating at me all of last week. My ex-fiancé would do this. He would lie and give different accounts of events or claim things happened that I didn't remember. Yeah, I had an ex that did that an awful lot as well. And it drives you absolutely nuts. However, they were always minor and meant to hurt, and almost always bullcrap. This was just weird. I ended up spending hours combing through my records and found nothing. He said we went and bought our supplies at a specific place. I have no bank records of that. I have no records of this ever happening. I even asked a few people I used to be friends with who never remembered this. It bothered me a lot. On Wednesday, we went to Tom's storage unit to fetch some stuff, and it immediately turned into him hunting for the art. He swears he put it there. He even remembers him putting it in there so vividly, but there was nothing. There was some sort of art, but from his family, but nothing matched what I apparently painted. Apparently, I painted some sort of cute pink donut from some gum commercial, or what he painted. He even went on to vividly tell me how he would go and grab food before. He even went on to vividly tell me how we would go and grab food before heading over to the college after a certain class we had together. But I don't remember this at all. I was annoyed, really annoyed. We had a big fight driving home where Tom complained that I just don't remember. I was telling them that I think he is wrong. It was awkward that night, and I broke down and told him he was wrong and that this isn't going to work out if this continues. Today has been really awkward, and I feel this stupid little thing of no significance is going to rip this relationship apart. Tom seems dead set in his way, and I was honestly considering that this is a sign of mental illness, but this is the first time I have ever seen him act like this, and it bothers me so much. What am I supposed to do? I feel if I just finally say, oh yes, I remember, now it's just going to lead to a huge argument. TLDR, my boyfriend thinks we took an art class and is making a mountain out of a molehill about this, and I don't know how to handle this. I mean, he could be thinking of somebody else, and like, he genuinely could believe it was you he did it with, and obviously, if you genuinely believe you went and did something like that with somebody, it drives you friggin' nuts when they're like, no, we didn't. Like, could you imagine? It'd make you feel like you were being completely gaslit. So I do get why Tom's probably like a dog with a bone with this, but if you didn't do it, you didn't do it. It's definitely not something to break up over at all, but I can understand because I had an ex that would basically make stuff up, and he knew he was making it up as well, and try and convince me that it's something I said or something we did or something I did or something he did, and it was all rubbish. He was just an absolutely manipulative liar. And, you know, if you've had that before, it kind of puts you on edge again for anyone else doing it, really. So maybe that's what Tom's dealing with. Maybe Tom's had someone in his past that used to manipulate him in that way by being like, no, you're remembering that wrong. So that's why he's so gung-ho about it. I don't know. Very weird. Then down in the relevant comments, Inconclusive Hush says, I don't think he is lying. I think he is having a false memory and maybe confusing you with someone else. Or even he had such a great time in that art class, his mind stuck you into the memory because he associates you with great experiences through his life. I think he is having a hard time letting it go because it's making him feel crazy and he is questioning his own sanity. Yeah, absolutely. At some point, we all remember things incorrectly, and it can be very disconcerting if there is something that goes against what we know to be true. Yeah, precisely. OP says, so, the part that bothers me is he is dead sure of when it was happening when we were a couple. Specifically, he is dead set that it was every Wednesday after we had a certain class. He remembers a specific class, the professor, and the fact that it ended at around 6 p.m, which is 100% true, but he remembers us going to this art class for 2 months afterwards, which didn't happen. I remember that class being hell. but nothing afterwards, which is why I am confused, which is why this is bothering me so much. Then Bex the cat says, that's the thing about false memories, you can't tell them from real ones. My boyfriend will insert me into some of his old concerts and I have to tell him I wasn't there, but he also realizes that he may be remembering incorrectly. Sit him down and tell him you love him and that it doesn't matter. You can paint together now all you want. Yeah, exactly. It really doesn't matter, does it? It's something very small, but obviously if you remember something and then you're being told that you're wrong, you are going to feel like you're going nuts. Update December 3rd, 2019. Wanted to thank everyone for the advice and help. I did what people suggested and sat him down and explained why it was bothering me so much and how my ex used to gaslight me. He apologised and told me he must have been remembering things wrong. But it didn't matter at all, because we found the answer to the mystery last night when we visited his sister and this topic came up. Turns out that his sister was the one who did the art class with him, and it wasn't actually at the local college, but at a local craft store. She didn't have the paintings, but was able to dig up a bunch of photos of her and Tom's stuff, including the paintings that Tom remembered. This was a weird last 2 weeks, but I am glad this is over with. TLDR, we were both wrong. No way, so it was the sister all along. That's mad, that is, how he completely, in his brain, just changed the person. And his memories just totally changed like that. Relevant comments. Mats2 says, I did an art class with someone I love. It must have been you. Literally, the brain works in mysterious ways. And then, I hope you choke. What an interesting username. This happens so much. There is a special kind of name for it, but I can't think of it. Your brain won't remember all the details, so it basically just kind of fills in the blanks with what it thinks should have been, even if it isn't correct. Edit. I think people are correct with it being called confabulation. I remember learning about it sometime in psychology class. I remember learning that when it happens, people aren't trying to lie and don't have any negative intentions. It's just our brain at work trying to connect the dots however it can. Some people have also chimed in with the Mandela effect, and while the two are very similar, they are not the same. Mandela effect generally affects a lot of people and is usually the case of an event that never happened, but people believe it happened. Again, people aren't necessarily lying when it happens. Confabulation is mostly about when an event really happens, but your brain can't recall everything, so the brain just decides it's going to fill in the blanks with what it thinks is best fit, even if that's not really what happened. It really is quite bizarre, and I encourage everyone to read about both Mandela effects and confabulation. And a deleted user comments, I do that with my sister and my husband, since they're my two best friends. Last week I said to my husband, like that time we were hiking and I go to pee behind a bush. No, wait. I told sister about that, not you. Damn it. Yeah, our brains are weird little mushy things, aren't they? And then down in the comments of the Best of Redditor Updates post, the Filthy Dill says, my husband did something of the sort. He asked what happened to my plaid coat. I never had a plaid coat because I loathe plaids. He was thinking of my sister's plaid coat. And then Sharon Stone says, mine referenced my glasses, which is wild because I got LASIK 6 months before I moved to his state. Every single member of his family and all of his exes wear glasses. I'm like, that must be your other wife. And then Afreya says, I gently and with love take the piss out of my dad for this when he mixes up small details about his partners. He's in his late 70s, so 3 marriages isn't exactly scandalous. 8 years, 23 years, 18 years and counting. But it is extremely funny when he says something like, my wife doesn't like Citroen cars, and I say, which one? Thankfully for me, he thinks I'm hilarious too. And then Nationwide 13 replies, my second wife does this to me, or other jokes like saying she's my favourite wife. Love it. Gotta have a good joke about stuff sometimes, ain't ya? And on that note, I'm going to leave it there for today. I need to go and get my impressions at the dentist. Cannot wait to choke on that nasty silicone plasticky stuff. Ugh, I hate it so much. Anyway, if you made it all the way to the end, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you like and subscribe, I'd appreciate you even more, and it helps you find your way back here for other videos. Other than that, I'm going to get off. Wish me luck. Goodbye.